From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the Real Zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and friends. What's going on today? Tonight we got a good one. Fear of failure. What's holding you back? And actually, it's not a topic I wrote. It's actually a topic that Coach Dee brought in. So let's bring her in and explain after the do tell. 1 second. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Real good. So, fear of failure. What's holding you back? What was your thoughts on that? Let's bring Shann real quick.
Get my buddy there. Hey, buddy.
Hello. Sorry for my my daughters surprised me and made a really nice dinner. So I was having some time with them and enjoying my Asian flair dinner tonight. So, but I'm here. What I missed?
We're just getting into it. Fear of failure. What's holding you back?
What a nice microphone you have there, sir.
Is that right?
Yes.
Actually, you know what? I'd be remiss. I have to say this, man. Shout out to Slash for staying up with me until 2 a.m. troubleshooting and taking care of things as far as hooking up everything, the mixers, all that good stuff. As you know, we're upgrading here at the podcast studio. So shout out to Slash, man. He's a trooper. 2 a.m. Then shout out to you as well, Shannon, for being one of the test dummies, as well as Coach D.
Who was the test? Did you call me a test dummy?
Not like that. You know what I mean. So Coach D actually brought up the rear end on that and fixed the actual sound because we were having some technical issues on that end, and she used her techie skills with that. Coach D, I truly appreciate you. Shannon, I truly appreciate you. And Slash.
You're welcome. Please don't refer to me as a test dummy. I mean, like, come on, don't be speaking that over me.
I'm sorry, but you know, like a
user tester. User tester.
Your test.
Hey, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
But actually,
fear of failure. And might I say, before we get into all of this, and I just want all the viewers to know, like, this was supposed to be something that was discussed. This topic. You did not.
Actually, you guys discussed it. Y'all discussed it on the podcast. Yes, you did.
We discussed that we were going to have a discussion about it, and nothing was finalized, and you made a final decision as you always do.
Coach D brought it up. She brought it up, and you agreed.
You're a papa's narcissist at times, sir, and very arrogant and on yourself. We love you with the love of the Lord, but you do that to us at times. Like, I'm just saying.
I truly, I apologize. But anyway, you guys always giving Slash hard times, and we wanted to make sure everything was perfect for you guys.
Speaking of which, you speak about him and he shall appear. Good evening.
Hey, Slash, that sample we worked on last night before we get started.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Good stuff, man. So actually, Princess Di fixed that, of course, Slash. So we changed some settings on the back in there. Good stuff, though. So the fear of failure. Yes. What's holding you back? I got a couple of tidbits that we'll go through throughout the show, but since this is Coach D's thing, so you go ahead and take the wheel, Coach D.
Okay, so what it is what usually holds most people back is not the fear of failure. It's actually the fear of success and what will happen when they become successful. Because when we're in our comfort zone, we're all very happy. Like we're little golden retrievers with a ball. We're very, very happy when we're in our safe zone. Once we move outside that safe zone, it becomes scary because every decision that we make is, in our minds, a fail or pass. But a lot of people don't realize that most of our failures are lessons that help us step up to those things that cause us to succeed. Oh my God. So when we, and I tell my son the same thing, if you're making mistakes, you're learning. And those mistakes will help you get to where you need to be.
Absolutely.
And the problem is people are afraid to make mistakes because all throughout our lives, we're told never make mistakes. Don't make mistakes. Losers make mistakes. You're a failure if you make a mistake. Mm-hmm. So people are afraid to step out and do what they're meant to do because of that. Like, I know people who are singers, and I mean, I know a girl who makes Whitney Houston sound like she does karaoke. Wow. But you will never hear her because she's afraid to step out. And it's afraid of what will happen when I become successful. Will my friends still like me? Will my family take advantage of me? All this stuff comes up because people are not secure in their relationships with other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Totally agree. I got a couple of tidbits here for them. 7 things that will always hold you back in life. We'll start off with number 1, fear. Number 2, excuses. Number 3, living your life to make others happy. And then I'll continue to go on. But let's start off with the fear thing, right? With the fear. Let me insert myself here for a second. When this happened to me, right? When I had to bleed on the brain and paralyzation, all this good stuff, all that stuff happened. If I'd had the fear of walking again, I'd still be bedridden. I would still be bedridden.
Yeah.
I made up in my mind that I wanted to walk. I wasn't interested in that wheelchair. I wasn't interested in that bed. Hell or high water, I was going to walk again.
Right.
But think about if I'd have had some type of insecurity within me, like conscious of, I don't want them to watch me the way I walk now, or I can't move this leg like I want to, or I can't move this arm like I want to. I don't give a damn. My eye was on the prize the entire time. No fear. Fear wasn't an option for me. Shannon?
What?
No, just.
Oh, I was like, what you asking me? So, I mean, I guess, I mean, I totally agree with everything you guys are saying. And I think one thing that I would add to what Coach D said about having that fear about because we don't have, would you say, adequate relationships with others or something. Right. I also think sometimes we don't have an adequate or good relationship with ourselves. Mm-hmm. That can cause us to be fearful of things. I think that at times we get scared, or we can be scared of really showing up with others, or just in the world in general as our true authentic selves, because we're so afraid of what others are going to think or say about us, or just judge us. And so I get it. And I totally, I've been there, right? It took me a while to get to a point where I literally do not care anymore about what people say, what they think.
Exactly.
Get to a certain age, and at least for me in life, now I will say probably I know in my younger years and 20s and 30s and whatnot, but I'll be honest, once I get up to my late 30s and especially in my 40s, it's like, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I have to live this life. I'm the one in this body. I'm the one who has to experience the things that I experienced and go through. And it's like, I don't care anymore. And it's not that I'm trying to be mean, but at this point, I think we talked about it on the show last week. It's like toxic people and their negativity and all of that stuff. I just don't have time for it. Exactly. So now it's about doing things that may have scared me before, but I just do them anyway. That's how I learned. That's really what I have to do to overcome things that may have been fearful about, is just do it, step out there and do it. Exactly. And I will just say that the whole thing about failure, it wasn't until I think it was probably somewhere in my mid-20s when I read John Maxwell's book, Failing Forward, and realized understanding that failure is not about not achieving or succeeding. You know, you're learning from that and you move on, and eventually you're going to, as long as you keep getting up, you're going to succeed and reach your goal or accomplish your goal.
Exactly. And totally, the number 4, I totally live by this. Number 4, not facing yourself or your problems. That's a huge stumbling block for all of us. When we refuse to face ourselves, when we refuse to acknowledge the toxic we bring to our own party.
So how does that incorporate into, is it fear, or is that part of what's holding you back?
That's a fear. The fear of you seeing yourself the way you really are.
Okay.
That's a worthiness conversation with people need to have with themselves, that they don't feel worthy of where they're going or what their expectations are. Like you'll see some people who you're like, how could they manage to do all this stuff? And they're like, because they think they deserve it. Because they know they deserve it.
Exactly.
Right? If there's a huge difference between, like, every job interview I've ever walked into, I've always gotten it. Because I walk in knowing that, you know what? They are lucky to have me coming in this door.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge difference between walking in going, oh my God, I hope I get this job. Because your entire energy changes around you.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
You can walk into a room and have a presence, or you can walk into a room and be present.
Absolutely.
So there's two things. Yeah.
Anyway, let me say welcome to our, so welcome back, Mark West, and Martine. Hey, Martine and Joker Dog. So welcome back.
Joker Dog, Martine.
Martine says, I don't know if it's failure. It's mostly fear for me, especially of my time wasted.
Is it really time wasted if you learned a lesson, though?
It's
time wasted. It's time wasted if you don't learn anything from it.
I mean, I'm thinking about that, but yeah, I get that. I get where both of you are coming from on that.
And don't get me wrong. Not everything is a lesson. Some people like to say that not everything's a lesson. There are things that happen to you that are not lessons.
There are things that happen to you for you, not necessarily to you.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Yeah, some things are not lessons. So don't. We're not going to dismiss anybody's trauma or anything that's happened to people in that.
Wow.
So let's go to number 5.
Yes.
Living unauthentically.
Mm-hmm.
You're not living authentic at all with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself first before you could actually, any hurdle, your mountain becomes pebbles. Again, your mountain become pebbles once you face yourself and you open up to yourself. Hey, this is me. Hey, this is Trent. This is me. I'm a complete mess.
And people will see
mountain became pebbles.
People will see inauthentic. People crave authenticness and realness. People will see when you're not yourself because it always shows through.
Yeah,
I'll share a story real quick with the viewers here. I had a conversation with Shannon. This is early on. I was still in the bed, and this is before all this stuff took place, right? So once I was talked into doing the podcast by Tammy Gator, my good friend out of Memphis, because actually she's my life coach, and I had a call from Shannon. Shannon called
me.
Yeah, you called me.
Oh, okay. I'm just.
And she was. I'm talking to the viewers right now. So so she says, hey, what you wearing for your big day? I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do it. She was like, yeah, right. So she was like, go to the closet real quick. I was like, for what? I'm not interested in that. What you talking about? I did not tell you I'm not doing it. Nah, just go to the closet. Let's pick out a suit for you. So for a minute, it kind of stumbled me for a second because I was full of fear because I was worried about people seeing me and this is going to be me, reemerging. I had been in seclusion for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. Nobody had seen me. And then I allowed Tammy Gator to talk me to going on camera.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yes, I do. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I go to the closet. So I pulled out a couple of suits. So she was like, hey, lay them on the bed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Lay them on the bed. I was like, cool. So I turned the FaceTime around and she's going through the suits on the bed virtually. So she pitched, hey, you wear that one and with the shirt and the tie, blah, blah, whatever. I was like, okay, cool. Right then and there, my confidence went to a very different realm in my life.
Mhm.
I said that to say I was full of fear because I had some insecurities that was injected into me with this paralyzation, with everything that happened, the bleed on the brain and the loss of my mother and the loss of my brother.
Mm.
Just it was too close for me. It's too much to bear. And I was afraid.
Mm.
I was completely afraid. But just that one conversation, simple conversation, and her picking out my suit for me, had injected something in me. And she complains about it today because I guess she says I'm a little arrogant, but
Little?
Right. That's what I'm trying to.
knock it off.
You're welcome. You're welcome, viewers. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because now you got him back in full force here.
No, but so about the fear, man, I was actually literally afraid, and she talked me out of it. Her, Tammy, a couple of people that was around me, just a handful of people that was around me, talked me out of that fear,
Mm.
and I went on with life.
I remember. Well, hold before I go into that. We have so a couple more folks join us. Good evening, Gentle Giant. Welcome, Alvin. I hope
What about?
I hope you get to stay on tonight, Alvin. It would be nice to talk to you tonight. And there's a Facebook. Someone keeps coming up as Facebook users said. They said, "Hey guys, if you wrote the comment, hey guys, can you please tell us who you are because you're
Hey,
coming
you know
up."
what I think that's actually in Missouri. I've actually got my first booking August 19th in Missouri, so I think that's Lanye out of
Okay.
Missouri. Yeah, from Cut
If
Cow.
you could just tell us your name so we can refer to you by your name and Tammy.
Oh, is that Tammy?
Is that
Tammy Gator.
is that
Is that
which
Tammy?
Tammy? No, we have our former, well, both of them have been guests on the show. So you have Tammy that came on with her husband, and then we also have we have the butterfly Tammy. So just let us know which one. And Martini agreed with you, Coach D. She said everything's not a lesson. Oh, it's my cousin. Hey Tammy, welcome back. Thank you for tuning
Tammy,
in.
good. Appreciate it.
So yeah, you know what? And honestly, I mean, we laugh about it now, but back then, a year ago or so, it was a very serious thing for you. That whole getting back out. Because I do remember you were like, I'm not doing this. I'm not my. But I will always say there was an interview. You did go and do an interview on a podcast before, prior to, and it was just like looking at that going back and watching that and where you are now, it's like two totally different people. So it's
and one of those things, I'm glad you brought that up. It's the people that we surround ourselves with.
Say that again.
It's the people that we surround ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
There was two totally different people that did the podcast. The first interview, I was still fearful, didn't want to show anything, everything. I was masking a ton of things, but it's the people that you surround yourself with. I had a bunch of strong women around me. I'm sorry.
Some say the 5 people we spend the most time with.
Yes.
There you go.
That is very true.
I literally had strong women around me. Strong women. Tammy Gator, Shannon, my ex-wife Teresa. And I didn't even lay eyes on neither one of you guys. And you guys were actually speaking life into me. Constantly. So that kudos to you guys.
Do I get a check for that? Just wondering.
I have some grapes here, so you can have these grapes over here.
Anyway, Al says, I like the new setup, bro.
Appreciate that, big bro. Thank you, man.
All right. So what were the next ones?
Next one. Let's see here. Not holding yourself responsible or taking accountability for your choices. Not holding yourself responsible or not taking accountability for your choices.
Okay.
We have to be responsible for everything that we do on this side of life.
True.
We have to take accountability for everything. That's just like with me, right? I was a huge womanizer. But until I started writing about it and healing from that, from the pain that I actually inflicted on folks. It's the only time I started healing, when I started the conversation behind my apology to all these women that I hurt. That's how I started healing within. That's how I reached my next realm. I went to the next realm because I actually admitted that this is what I've done. This is who I was. I took accountability for every action taken. Every knife I stuck in someone, I took full responsibility for.
Okay.
That's where the winning comes in.
So
Go ahead.
at what point through, like, where were you at when you started writing, when you actually started writing and you realized it was turning into a book? Or at what point did you realize your writing was going to be turning into a book that you would actually publish and share?
When I started journaling about Big Will, and I was having a conversation with my good friend Ursula and Chantel out of Dallas, Texas. Honestly, that's how the conversation started, like between the several of us on talking on the phone. They were walking me through healing, Pooh-Face and everybody. They were actually walking me through the trauma because my dad had died in my arms. So I was truly broken. And Ursula and Pooh-Face, by the way, Donna, said that you know what, you should write. You should actually put this in. You're already a writer. You've written songs over the years. You should write. And I've been journaling since I was like 5. But when I started talking about Big Will outward and expressing my feelings toward how that felt and the loss of him and everything, that's when the healing began.
Gotcha. So just as soon as you said Ursula popped up. Hey, Ursula, welcome back.
First?
Thanks for joining us.
What up, first?
Dude, Ursula, I'm so glad you're back. You got to actually come back on the show and give us an update on what's been going on. I see you've been doing a lot of traveling and living your best life, so we need an update.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
So I do want to go back to the statement you made about strong women, that you've been surrounded by strong. Do you know any men? I'm just like, where are the men at?
I know a ton of men, but I really don't get down with them like that.
Kind of like,
honestly, and I'm just gonna say this, and for the viewers, please do not take this the wrong way. Women have always gravitated to me.
Oh my God.
And I'm not saying in a bad way, in a sexual way, and they just love my conversation. I just love talking to women. I do. I just love talking to women. It doesn't have to be sexual or anything like that. I just enjoy.
I have that same thing with men, so I get it.
I enjoy speaking with women.
I'm just playing. I was trying to be funny.
You notice I ignored that, right?
I know.
But I enjoy speaking with women because, like, honestly, I don't hold a lot of male friends. It's always been me and my brothers. That was it. We had friends, but not like that. It's always been the Horsemen. Well, ever since I can remember, since I was 4 years old, it's always been me and my brothers.
Yeah,
so I didn't have the need for a whole bunch of guys around me because I already had them around me.
I'm not giggling at you. I'm reading the comments that you and Dee hired me to do each week. So Martine says, has anyone ever felt as if you were suffering from karma, your parents' karma? We'll go back to that in a second, Martine. But Joker Dog is the one, his comment is the one that I was kind of giggling at. He says, does Jack Daniels and a pen work, or is it all sober? Can you?
Was that Joker Dog?
Yes. So did you?
I tell you what, it wasn't. Hey, Joker Dog, it wasn't Jack Daniel. It was a whole bunch of Kettle One and a pen, and a whole bunch of crying sessions. When I wrote the Four Horsemen book, I cried in every single stroke of the pen. I healed on that book.
So we've got a new viewer on here, and I'm not sure. I don't know if it's Snipey MS sent it. I'm not sure, but welcome. And their comment is, karma isn't a real thing. Martine said, thanks for
that.
Huh?
I don't know who that is. Karma isn't a real thing.
It's a new viewer, so welcome. We're glad you're here. But let us know your thoughts about that when you say karma isn't a real thing. Why do you think karma isn't, or such things coming back isn't a real thing?
I don't know about that.
Buddhism. It doesn't mean a reaction. It doesn't mean it's just energy. It's not. It's karma is used wrongly all the time.
Can you put that comment down? I can't see something.
I wanted to acknowledge Mark again.
That viewer said they just found us on Twitch. Well, welcome. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, hey. Oh, actually, you know what? I just went over to Twitch. Maybe about a month ago. I just started broadcasting.
So they said explain karma to a 2-year-old with leukemia. Not sure. I guess I get that, but I'm not kind of sure what the correlation between the two. But so if you want to elaborate and let us know, please do.
Appreciate the new viewership. Thank you.
Mark said, thanks for the company of you and Kobe, just trying to help a good brother along the way. Biblically, Philippians 2:4, let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you.
Good stuff.
Thank you for coming. So, that is a good thing. You know what, Coach D, maybe we should talk about that next time, about karma, when you said that it's misused. It's used very often. So
But honestly, I would respectfully disagree on the whole karma situation thing. I respectfully disagree on that. Because I believe the universe serves everything up. What you dish is what you're gonna get.
So was that energy? Is that in the form of energy? Like, I don't know.
I would actually say that.
You say, okay, now we've got to kind of move over. And they said the Bible isn't real, simply a claim. Religion is used to control, not so.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna do that.
Hey, everybody has their own opinion, sir, and we respect their opinion.
I have a religious studies degree, so
I get that.
And Joker Dog said Galatians 6. Okay, thank y'all. I don't have my Bible out to be going looking up verses tonight, but thank y'all. Appreciate that, y'all. If you want us to go, put what the verse actually says out there for me, because I'm not going to be able to go look it up.
Good stuff. Let's get back to the fear of fear.
Well, it's 29 after the hour, so I think now would be a good time to take a break.
Perfect.
And we'll finish up your points on the other side of the break.
Good stuff. Appreciate you guys. We'll be right back.
We'll talk about imposter syndrome.
Ooh.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
And we're back, folks. Good stuff. Quick break. Want to get back to the comments real quick? Let's get back to those guys, see what they're talking
about. Our new Twitch viewer says they've seen a Batman, not quite sure what that means. And then those who can be made to believe absurdities can be used to commit atrocities. Voltaire.
Everyone has an opinion. Good stuff. Appreciate you.
Points. And when Coach D comes back, I want to hear about the imposter. We'll talk about the imposter syndrome. Are you there? Your screen is blacked out.
Oh, let me get back up. 1 second. I was looking for something. Sorry. I was looking something up.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead.
So we were talking about imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome happens as people start becoming more and more successful, because then they start doubting, why am I so successful? I'm a fraud. I don't deserve this because so and so's been doing this much longer they are. I'm more successful than them. Why am I more successful? And this is where a lot of people get caught up because it's a worthiness. Once worthiness comes back into it again, am I for everything that I have?
Totally agree.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Where does that come from, though? So because I'm thinking, so does not where does that come from, but does our sense of worth, and again, it's just kind of like all of that stems from what we learn or what we get within those less than first 10 years of life.
Yep.
Really, yeah, wow.
So imagine if you grow up with a parent who says, you'll never amount to anything, you're a failure, you're XXXSS, and you grow up in survival, versus a child like Xavier who grows up in love and keep trying, you can do better. I know you did your best. That's a great job you've done. And if somebody has failed and gets help achieving and learning from what they did wrong versus somebody who gets put down constantly, you're going to get two different things. Xavier's not going to have imposter syndrome.
But I honestly think that that's an individuality thing. That's an individual thing because let's just say, like Shannon, you and I were talking last month or whatever it was, and we were talking about children growing up in a home together. One is affected one way, and the other is affected the other way. That's an individual thing.
Oh, if you want to get into nature versus nurture versus trauma, that's a whole other conversation.
Exactly, but for me, I've never been the type of person to, not even as a kid.
But I wasn't talking about you.
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm making an example. I'm just giving an example. Because I don't believe that just because, someone talked down to me and said I'll never be anything, that stuff roll off my back like a duck.
So you have better coping. So it just means you have better coping mechanisms than somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's not, that doesn't mean it hasn't affected you.
I agree, but it's a different.
All those women.
That was a different outcome in my household. Totally different.
No, sir. We've had this conversation with you. I've had this conversation with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get these comments, Shannon?
Why are you looking at me? Oh, you trying to get out the hot seat?
He is.
You know I don't want to get no hot seat with that. You know what I do.
Martine says she hadn't heard of the imposter syndrome, and then Joker Dog was telling us about Galatians, was it 6:7? About be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever man sows, that shall he also reap.
I agree with that.
We know you. We know you do. Have you made all your points, sir?
I did. But let's linger around that last point.
Which one?
Just one time. Not holding yourself responsible or taking accountability for your choices.
Some people have choices, and some people have good choices.
Great point, Dee.
There's a difference there. Like I grew up, I had good choices. People growing up in other areas may have had choices. They didn't get the choice of what university they want to go to. They didn't get the choice to go to university. So it's all about, you have to look at what people have and what they're able to do with it. And like trauma, you throw trauma in there, you throw in worthiness conversations, you throw in a whole bunch of stuff, and people are like, oh, you need to be held accountable. People have a whole pile of baggage that they need to work through before they can even look at accountability.
It's good stuff there, man. Hey, Shannon, do you see the balance there? You see why I brought Coach D to the
balance of what balance? I mean, Dee and I pretty much agree on everything. Like
exactly.
But
you guys are against me. So
you just wanted somebody else to talk to.
Hey, viewers, if I blink twice, that means I'm in danger with these two.
Hey, you look. You had choices, and then you had good choices. Which one are you thinking? Which
security?
Which
talk we need to have about.
What'd you say, Coach D?
I said that sounds like a security chat we need to have.
Let's get the Mark's comment here.
he got a comment. Mark don't have a comment.
We don't.
Oh, is he still?
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, sorry. I'm
What is-
sorry. Sorry, Mark, because he'll tell me you need to go back to 731. He says, when good brother get together for a guy's night out, we may hit a gentleman's establishment with wine, women, and song. We share Bible verses like tonight. Mark, okay. I don't know. You just come up out the blue with stuff sometimes.
I have brothers. You are lying, sir. That's true.
You guys give Mark a hard time.
Mark gives himself a hard time. Like for over a year now, I have been like, I have to go back to you, sir. Can you translate this? Because I don't understand what he says at times.
And Mark, the entire time he was over and helping with the equipment and all that good stuff, he talked about Princess Di and Princess Disney.
Disney.
You're Princess Disney and she's Princess
Now I'm a
Di.
cartoon. Now I'm a freaking Disney cartoon character or something.
He says it all the time. He's been saying that for a year in the comment
He's not
section.
been saying that about me. He said Charlie Angel. Like, so
I'm telling you,
I need y'all to clarify this. So now I'm a Disney character. I'm a children's cartoon character. I'm ha ha he ho ho funny.
No,
I'm just saying. No, I'm just playing. I'm giving you a hard time.
Princess is he referring to?
Right. Exactly. That's another good question. I'm just thinking.
Stop planning a party. Knock it off. Okay.
No. See, that's a very good. Which princess are you referring to, Mark? While
They
you're
got
here,
poor princess, and they get some wimpy ass princesses. Excuse my language.
do I get to be like Mulan type of princess?
So let's get back to this one. Let's break this one down, Coach D. Not holding yourself responsible or taking.
Wait a minute, Martine had a say. She says, "I'll say that from time to time, people will find themselves questioning themselves, their worthiness, and their worthiness. Not everyone does that."
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we breaking down, sir?
Let's dig into these choices that D was talking about. Can you dig a little deeper, Coach D?
It's quite simple. Look, some of us live very privileged lives, and some of us don't. And so, some of us who don't live privileged lives don't have access to the choices that others have.
Great point.
I've lived a privileged life. I have access to going. I have more education than probably one person needs, and it's so I have access to that. If I want, I can go take a course tonight and without even think about it, pay for it without a question. No worries. There are some people who are barely able to put food on the ground. They don't have that choice.
That's true.
There's choices that makes it harder for other people to get ahead. It's very expensive being poor.
Yes.
And people don't realize that. And
I've never heard no one phrase that way.
I have.
That is so. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really. People are like, oh well, you just need to make better choices. I'm like, what? They need to make choice between eating or having heat. Like, if I wanted to talk to somebody about managing money, I want to talk to a mom who's got 4 kids working 3 jobs because she knows exactly how to budget every single penny.
Exactly.
Fudge guy, not some fudge hedge fudge guy who's bound for his boast. Right? It's about choices. What you have available for some is not always ideal. And the fact that do really well is the exception, not the rule. And I think a lot of people get that mixed up because they go into the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps, not realizing that whole saying was to make fun of slaves because they didn't have boots. And it's nobody gets anywhere on their own.
Very true.
Totally agree.
So it's so when people are like, well, my family is not supporting me, the people who you want to support you will very rarely support you. It's the friend that you don't know about who's buying all your books or buying clothes that you're making or buying the lipstick that you're selling. And they'll
I will say everything that I've sold has been sold to people. The majority, I'd say 95% of things that I've sold that I've made have been from I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Not family.
I think I've been feeling for the last 15 years, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah.
I tell people, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Martine was just going back. She said, Mark is always speaking in riddles. So I just thank you, Martine. and when a Georgia girl, Miss Keisha was on with us. It was the same thing. So it's not us. I'm just gonna say that.
No.
We're gonna leave Mark alone today. So
Is
let's
it
get to this last one.
What's the last one?
The biggest problem of what's holding people back in life is assuming that there is more time.
Ooh, yeah.
There is more time.
Mhm.
And I go back to the whole situation with the bleed on the brain and being partially paralyzed. I didn't have no time. I didn't need the clock was broken, period. It was stuck on the time that it happened to me.
Right.
And I was focused on getting out of that wheelchair in bed. I didn't think about the time. Didn't think, I got some time to heal up a little bit. Nah, I go at it hard. My friends tell me still to this day, hey, why are you going to the gym like that so much? Because this is something that's a continual thing here to recover. It's a continual thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have time. I don't have the luxury just to sit there and just wait for another appointment. I can't do that. Oh, well, I'm not going to go on Monday because I'm going back Wednesday. Nah, I don't have that kind of time, man. Because with me, if I sit long enough, I'm going to lock up. Well, Shannon, you know that. Dee, you know that as well. If I sit long enough, I'm going to lock up. I'm going to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time. That's not a luxury for me. Shannon?
No, I mean, I agree. If anybody has learned about the concept of time and not having it and valuing it, it has definitely been me over the past, I would say, at least the past year. And
Man.
so I kind of, I live life now with more of a like, I don't have time for the nonsense and BS. And which is another reason I just refuse to deal with people who don't bring positivity into my life, right?
Absolutely.
Or people who want to continue to harp on not even just not like anything toxic or not any type of trauma personal for me, but even their own stuff. Like, I don't even want you to come around me and keep talking about all the toxicity that you continue to choose to deal with.
Yeah.
So so I learned that I had a lesson in that. I will say earlier this year dealing with my dad. It's like you just have to really appreciate and cherish and value every moment that you get, because you just never, anything could happen. Anything.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And
And you
I
know what? Go ahead.
yeah.
Dee, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I tell people, like, I had a session the other day, and she says, I don't know what I want to do. I said, what would you do if you could not fail?
Mm.
And she knew exactly what she wanted to do if she could not fail.
That's the question. That
is a good question.
And she's like, I'd open a yoga studio. I'm like, so open the yoga studio.
That is a really good question, because then that goes back to, we don't do it, or we don't even put it out there in the universe to speak it, because we are afraid of failing or succeeding.
Yeah.
Or no, fear of failure, because you phrased it as, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do?
Yeah.
So the underlying part there was that they feared that they would fail, which kept them from really doing.
I'll tell you guys a quick story.
Identify what they wanted to do. Yes, that was awesome. Hold on, that was an awesome question, Tammy. And Martine said, that's why I said having my time wasted. I'm up in age and I don't have time to play around. I get that, Martine. We're right there. We're right there.
Absolutely.
The same way.
Absolutely. Good stuff. I tell you guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because I was going to transition into something else. So if you want to finish up on your thought regarding this, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, when she was talking about the question of what's next, what's the plan, what have you, I remember during my my process, recovering, the one time I saw Alvin, he'd come over and he'd give me my food and all this other good stuff, and I asked him, I said, hey, once you take me off the bed, I had a side commode on the side of my bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want to go to the bathroom. I want to go to the restroom. He said, you can't do that. I said, I do. I have a plan. He said, what you mean? I said, just in case I fall, I know which way to fall, so I won't break my hip. So he said, you sure you want to do that? I said, that's what I want to do. Take me to the bathroom so I could get my foot, gather my footing, and you're going to put me on that toilet. I am not going to go another day going on the side bedpan. I had a plan.
Right.
That struck a thought. I had a plan. I knew exactly if I was gonna fall, I was gonna fall to my right and not my left. Because if I'd have fell to my left, I'd have broke my hip and died.
Right.
So yeah, that's a great question. You're a powerful trauma coach, man.
Mhm.
Powerful,
Wow.
powerful. Good stuff. Go ahead. You can transition.
You're here.
So I was going to say, we're talking about fear, and I think we've been talking about a lot of things as far as more so about the goals and or things, accomplishments, and things of that nature when it comes to fear and what's holding us back. But I think there's also an aspect of it because we talk a lot about relationships on the show when it comes to relationships and moving out of certain fears or having certain fears that keep you from moving forward into other relationships or fully committing or giving yourself into other relationships that could be beneficial for you, but because of past fears. And I think this was part of last week's show, just some of those things that we've dealt with in the past. We don't necessarily always leave in the past. We're still holding on to a little bit of it as almost a protect mode to say, okay, I had this experience. I don't want to have it again. I'm going to hold on to this so I can remember if this happens, that's kind of like, that could be a possible trigger that something else is about to happen, all of that stuff. So this is for Coach D. How do you, or what would you say to a person who is battling or trying to overcome, bringing certain fears from past relationships into trying to move on into a new relationship?
Good question.
Well, first they need to figure out exactly what the fear is. Like not, oh, I'm afraid they're going to dump me or anything like that. They need to go deep and figure out what that deep fear is, like why they have the fear of abandonment, why they have a fear that nobody's going to love them, why they have the fear that they need to look a certain way or be a certain way. Like a lot of people will go into a relationships and completely change their identity, who they are, to match to the person they're with. And they lose themselves, and then they end up with all these fears. But in actuality, it wasn't them, their actual person that lost them. It was the person that they were trying to be. And I think a lot of us, when we stop trying to be that other person, that perfect person that other person wants, then we tend to get more authentic with our own selves, and we lose a lot of those fears. Because our I call it a gaff factor, the give a flute factor becomes lower.
Right. I got a question for you guys.
Oh, I see what the F is. Okay, gotcha.
I got a question. I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, because we want when you stop worrying about being what other people want and being your true self, you lose a lot of those fears. Because when you're in love with who you are as a person and respect who you are as a person, then you exude that to everyone around you, and the people who want that will look for that.
They will
And the people
gravitate
who
to
don't
you.
want it will naturally fall off.
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot of people pleasing is where we get caught up.
So why do you guys think that people reject opportunities?
Why they
Is it
reject
a fear? Yeah, is it a fear of taking them out of their comfort zones, you think?
I think there could be a lot of things. I mean, I think there'd be several things. It could be depending on the opportunity, what work is required, what kind of work is required. Some people don't want to do what's required based on whatever the opportunity is to take advantage of it. So I do think that sometimes there's some people just, I don't know if I want to call it laziness, but some people just don't want to do the work.
Complacent.
Yeah, or they're complacent and they're very comfortable. And I do think that there is a certain level of getting out of your comfort zone. I've always felt like your comfort zone is your failure zone. If you're trying to do anything great, you're not going to do it by being comfortable where you are.
Absolutely.
It's going to require a certain level of discomfort for a period of time.
And it's healthy to turn down opportunities that you don't think work for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's also true. Because every opportunity, you're right, and every opportunity is not for you, and it may not be beneficial.
Exactly. Hey,
So,
Coach D, this was a wonderful topic here. Thank
hold
you.
on, we've got a couple of comments. So Martine said fears that come from bad experiences in their adulthood and they become broken. Now, I think that was in relation to the question I had. As far as people bringing the fears into new relationships.
Right.
And she said she all agreed with you, Coach D. She says she always says that people become estranged from their true selves.
Mhm.
I mean, I look at it and I think when I was younger, and I don't know what it was. I just was not always someone who was as secure with myself as I am now, and I didn't always show up as my most authentic self. And it wasn't because, and I can't look back and say that I had parents who did not give me praise or tell me that I was worthy. Like I never had anyone tell me, "Oh, you don't deserve this," or "You're not good enough," or all. Because I was a child who excelled in a lot of different things, especially academically. So but it took me a while to really at some point to get to that where it's like I started really feeling like I know me and I feel worthy of this and I love me and all of that kind of all of that kind of stuff. But it's just when I look back at who I was in my 20s and my 30s, I'm like, why was I so afraid of that?
Mhm.
Why was I so concerned about what somebody was going to say or think? Like it made no difference. I mean, even now, when whatever people say or think has no bearing on my life. It's their opinion,
Yeah.
and their opinion is actually none of my business. It doesn't really matter. And so I'm like, it's almost like a switch flipped at a certain point. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I don't know, but I just know that was something that I dealt with early on, in my early adult life. That now is kind of like, you know,
I think the
Cool.
most important advice I was ever given was um, feedback is just information and it only has the power you give it.
mm,
Exactly.
Now it's
Exactly.
like, wow, you're right. It does only have the power you give it.
yeah,
Good stuff. It's 5 minutes to the hour. Let's get to the teachable moment real quick.
Mhm.
well, you had two. Martine says, when you're in tune with yourself, it's hard for anyone's BS to throw you off, which is very true. And I really think that there's that whole thing about people start to gravitate to you based on that, like you start to attract the right people,
Yeah,
or people who are drawn to that, rather than
Exactly.
some of the bums. I'm just saying that, Martine, because I know you and I are kind of in that area where that whole pee caca pool out here. So
yeah. It's all about being your authentic, real self. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. Like tomorrow, I'm celebrating the 26th anniversary of my 25th birthday.
I say that all the time. I always say it's like the 20th anniversary or the 10th or the 5th anniversary of that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
am I going to
people.
be
So
here?
what do you think at 51? I'm like, what? What do you mean? What I think of 51? I think I wasted too many years thinking about what other people thought. Like the
Yeah.
things I done in my 20s or 30s, thinking about worried about what other people were thinking. Jeez, man, so much wasted time. So much
Exactly.
Yeah. It's,
time.
I'm like,
That's
why can't
true.
we have that wisdom and that sense of security and self at a young age? Like, Mark wants to know what riddles or allegories are you talking about? And Tammy's wishing you a happy birthday, D.
Thanks, Tammy. I wish that Mark would just speak in plain English.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. So, what is your teachable moment, Mr. Epic?
Teachable moment is excuses. There should be none. Just go get it. That's it. That's the teachable moment. And everything. And the ultimate teachable moment was Dee's question.
What would you do if you could not fail?
Yes, I love that.
That's the ultimate teach. What would you do if you did not fail?
That
What would
is
you
the
do?
teachable moment overall, I think.
Exactly. What would you do? That's the question. That's the question that we all should be asking ourselves. Just go for it.
Yeah.
We should go every morning, each morning. Failure is not an option.
Yeah.
You're gonna get what you put in. Period.
No.
Put nothing in, you're not gonna get anything in return.
And you
Give it all you got, you're gonna get it.
and you always make more impact on people than you realize.
Yes.
Most of the time, we only find out once we're dead, but you always make an impact.
Oh, D.
But it's true. People give us our flowers when we're after you're like, give me my flowers now.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? I have a different type of mindset about the flower thing. I don't wait for flowers. I bring my flowers every morning.
Oh God.
I don't wait for the flower. I don't. I do not wait for the flower.
Mr. Epic. We are so glad you don't. Thank you.
Next week's topic, how narcissism has taken over America.
Knock it off. Stop it, okay?
Oh, but
no, I mean, I just don't. I don't need that. I don't need. We have to at some point encourage ourselves constantly.
I'm teasing.
In today's climate, we have to encourage ourselves.
I agree. I know exactly what you mean.
You're a mess. You're a mess.
Yes, we all encourage ourselves, but some of us want some flowers too. Some of us want. And
I get it.
Want to hear about, or some of us literally want flowers. Like, so I decided every week I'm going to do something for me. So the one thing I did for me this week, and I, because I'm a Trader Joe's fanatic, right? And I have the best fresh flowers. So I just buy myself flowers until I get to a point that I'm getting somebody else is sending me flowers to keep in my house just because. But for now, I give myself these little pretty lovely flowers.
Good stuff. You see the encouragement, the self-encouragement you're doing? You see that? You see the self-encouragement you're doing? You're purchasing your own flowers.
No, I'm saying, hey, y'all, now look here. Martine know what I'm talking about.
That is so funny.
Nice.
Hey, Joker Dog coming D.
Joker Dog said, D, how would you apply what to a relationship? You have to let us know now because we've kind of talked about a lot of things.
And also Mark says
we live in a society that highlights others' shortcomings, news that only focuses on bad news, low chakra entertainment and music. Therefore, fear and individualism is frowned upon.
Exactly.
So you're trying to say love and hip hop and basketball wise is low chakra?
Exactly. It's a travesty.
I don't watch that stuff.
Hey! It's a little.
I don't have the mental.
Ratchet TV is my little bit of enjoyment.
I don't for as that goes, those housewife things and all those reality shows. For as that goes, I don't have the mental toughness to sit there and sit through that bullshit.
I just want to coach them. I just want to coach them. Like, who are you? What? We need to talk about this. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. But.
Oh my gosh! You ever go when you're in you go to like new meetings or something, or your icebreaker question is a little unknown fact a little fact about you that people would be surprised. And mine is always the ratchet TV. People are like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know.
I get it.
Undercover. I'm just like, ooh, okay. I was living vicariously, like, okay. No, that's but I just find it amusing. Like people really do this at times.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a friend who sets the clock for Sunday nights after the show. I'm not going to call any names, but they watch ratchet TV. I call it.
Is it me? I'll own it. Is it me?
You already know.
I mean, I'm sorry. 90 Day Fiance come. I look here. I need to know what's going on in case I had to get a 90 Day Fiance. I'm just saying.
So it's one after the hour. What's your guys' teachable moment?
That was our teachable moment. These questions.
Got you.
Oh, Martine said, Mark, we already had that conversation, and that's why you'd gone back to that ending the date before it even started. Martine says she wants flowers. Yes, Martine. See, I'm one of those women. I still want flowers and candy. I'm sorry.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
And she loves Trader Joe's too. We have to do a Trader Joe's trip together, Martine.
I definitely love Trader Joe's.
I like to go like once a week.
Everything
Go
about Trader Joe's.
to the city. Okay, Joker Dog, we're gonna give you the hold on, Martin. Okay, y'all, look, we were trying to end the show. Now they want to start talking. Martine says, since you put it out there, I don't recall the conversation. You left a virtual date and left me with the check. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. It's been said that we're supposed to do for ourselves what we'd like others to do for us. I'm assuming that's in relation to the flowers. But I want to go back to this. Hold on. Joker Dog said, what would you do if you couldn't fail as it relates to a relationship? You tell us, Joker Dog, real quick. Mm-hmm. Martine, I don't know if this is shade. She says you left the virtual date and left me with the check. I think that's when Joker Dog checked out that week when we were trying to put the coffee date together.
Oh,
remember? Because we were like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" And he didn't say nothing. Okay. All right. This has got good tonight. We might have to. Okay. I don't know, Coach D. You might have to come back and do some coaching, some relationship
a mediation between the two of those. Right. Tell me how that made you feel when she said this.
Ooh, wow.
Those 3 after the hour. We'll let those folks be with that one.
So
3 after the hour.
I have an idea because I was speaking to someone before, and we talked about settling. And they brought up the point that men have always had to settle as it pertains to women, i.e. meaning that most men date down. I think we need to talk about that.
That's why the most men date.
I don't know, but I might even see if I can talk this person into coming on the show, Coach.
Please.
But I think that, and I know Mark is going to have a field day with this one. I know, but I think we should. Do men date down? Are men the ones who always date down? And I actually have to kind of think about this a little bit because I can see a little bit of their perspective and some of mine. Okay. So
when you think about like men dating down, we don't like a man for his men, at least the guys that I know. We don't consider that dates.
In the sense that men have always maybe been the ones who have been more financially they have been the more financially stable, or the more ones who have had I guess a higher income bracket, right?
Right.
Because how many of us women want to date men who don't have any money or anything going on? Like, I don't want to take care of you. So I kind of see a little bit of where it's going, but I would love to hear a full conversation and perspective on that.
But it's not
Ursula up looking. Wait. She says, date down. What do you mean? No, that's Mark talking about some virtual check. Oh, I don't know. Y'all done lost me with these virtual checks. I don't know. But anyway, I think we should talk about that.
Let's talk about that next week.
Yes, next week. That would be good.
That's cool. That's
but
funny.
In your case, did you date up when you got married When you married Romello, did Romello date up when he married Morgan?
Call me DJ Khaled. All the way up.
So Romello married up. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, I did it twice. So
I don't know any men who married down. I've always wondered how they got their wife.
I've never been interested in dating down. Never. I have no interest in that. Still to this day.
I think we really need to look into. But I am gonna converse with this person a little bit more to kind of pick their brain and see where they're coming from with it. But I think we should.
Actually, I think Shannon. I think that is a wonderful, wonderful idea to have that topic.
And my topic can be does size matter?
There she go. I won't bring nasty stuff in.
I did not. You don't even know what it's pertaining to. You always do that.
Good stuff. So we could have that talk.
More comments after this. Oh wait, Martine says that's an old conversation about when we talked about how silly Mark was being, and I said I've gotten up and left. Oh, okay, so it wasn't about you and Joker Dog. Ursula talk about flag on the field.
What up, Urs? I had a wonderful conversation with Urs as always today. We had a great, and she asked about you, Shannon. I had a wonderful conversation with her.
Mark said historically, great granddaddy did. and most of our grandfather and most of our fathers did. Now women have better jobs and opportunities, looking down on 9-to-5 brothers.
Hey, you know what? Hey, that now you come on, you guys got to admit that is true. That is facts. Big facts.
Okay, we're not gonna, this is next week, Mark. Hold all those thoughts. Go get all your thoughts and your figures and all that stuff and riddles and stuff for next week.
Hey, Mark, bring the playbook. Bring the playbook, because you know Dee over there sitting on 1,000 computers right now, pulling up right now.
Already have the statistics.
Oh, I need to see if I can get a Georgia girl to come back next week too.
Bring it through. It's all good. Bring it through.
Yes.
It's
like having all these intellectual minds on the show.
You know, I'm sexual, so I love it.
Yeah.
Who can claim they're dating down? Oh, Martine says she's heard guys choose women who are considered beneath them because they're more fun. Ursula said,
"Great point. That's a great point, Martine. Great. Well, hey, let's just stop. Let's stop right here.
Ursula said that you guys talked about fleas you used to date. Ursula, come through with
Hey, you know, now I'm gonna share a little bit with the audience, and then Kobe's gonna get upset with me. He'll be barking like he was barking last night with Mark. So I'm gonna share, and then we'll get out of here. Ursula was talking like we always had these gatherings over at Greg's and just hanging out, you know, having a good time, whatnot, drinks and all that stuff. So when I finally moved back south, you know, I hadn't been around my brother Greg, in a long time. So we were just going to all these different parties that they were putting together. So Urs was there and whatever. And Urs she was like, every time I see you, you got a flea with you. Like, what are you talking about? So she was like, I could see if it was like one, but you would have a different one every time. And this was like every weekend. It would be a different woman every weekend. So I couldn't argue with her because she was telling the truth. And they were flea bags. But
wait, they were flea bags. Did you say they were flea bags?
Yeah, they were. But anyway, so wait a minute. I say that respectfully. So
you respectfully say that these women are flea bags?
Let me explain for a second my whole point. As far as with the men dating down, like men don't think like that, right? So when I had that mindset, let's just say that, let me clear it up a little bit. When I had that mindset, that was only a jump off. We don't call them dates. So Ursula was calling them dates. I was like, Ursula, that wasn't a date.
What were they?
They were hookups. They were hookups.
Okay.
They just happened to meet me at the party. That's when I had that mindset.
Did you give them the ID? Did you give them the address of where you were going to be?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't just happen. It wasn't just a happen. Like, oh, you're at Star. I just ran into you at Starbucks.
It was planned. I was like, hey, my brother's giving a party.
Just happened. Anything you were planning. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but Urs would always be the one to call me out. Like, she'd pull me to the side in the room and like, you always bring a flea with you. I'm like, what are you talking about, Urs? So, but we'll talk about that stuff on Wednesday. It's a great topic, Sam.
Thank you, Martine. She says size matters. Whatever size we're talking about for whatever it is, it matters.
What am I putting myself?
The size of your bank account, the size of your car, the size of your shoe. Who knows? You the one went there, sir.
I think what you do with what you have matters.
Oh, Dee's dropping jewels today. I love it. I love it.
That too, because
I love it.
No, see, now you're gonna make me go into that.
Let's not do that, because I really got to get out of here because Kobe's.
Stop trying to blame it on Kobe. Just because you don't be blaming stuff on Kobe. Kobe's a sweet baby. Stop that. All right, Mark, we'll have to get to your comment next week. Historically, do the maths. Men have dated and married down. Oh, he's going to be good on Wednesday's show. Down in the thinking of women, men don't date or marry choosing based upon a woman's career status or degrees.
Ooh, they don't. I love it. I love it. I love it.
They choose based on the size of they. Anyway, thank you. We will talk about that on Wednesday. Come back, Mark. Let's have this conversation.
Oh, you know Mark will be it.
Statistics, because if he's not, he's going to be wrong.
He ain't got no statistics.
Knock it off. Hey, now y'all, come on. I told y'all, give Mark a break today because Mark was up until 2 a.m. helping me with this system.
helping you. He's
Mark-
helping you. They got shit on me. It's you.
The knowledge that came from that's going to help you with your microphone.
I don't have a microphone yet, sir. And by the way, I was the one that said, "Oh, we need to get microphones," and then you only got yourself a microphone.
Well, I had to be the test dummy.
Oh, good. I'm glad you called yourself the test dummy. Thank you. And on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in with us again this week. We will see you all next Wednesday on the next conversation, 8:00 Eastern time, 7:00 Central. Make sure you go over to YouTube, and as Mark would say, smash that subscribe button, and bring a friend next week, and we'll do it all over again. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.